Well, hello and welcome to a new video. Today we are talking all about primers. So I went through my primer collection. I have about, I would say 25, 30, don't judge me. And I made up a list of 10 categories, some of which I have already done when I talked about my brushes, like the oldest, the newest, the most expensive, the least expensive, and then other categories specific to the primers, just so that I could talk about some of them. So I'm creating this tag. This is completely arbitrary, but if you do want to answer those questions for yourself, then please go ahead and let's just go. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna tell you about the primer I have on today, and it is the Marc Jacobs Undercover Blurring Coconut Face Primer. I don't know how I feel about this primer, to be honest with you. I tested it out when I was working at Sephora, and it was one of my colleagues actually who showed it to me, and I had never heard of it before. The thing that's kind of magical with this primer is that when you go and rub it on your hand or on your face for that matter, it smooths out everything. It leaves this silk soft touch. It really is beautiful. The issue I have with it, although not really an issue because I still use it, is that I feel like once you apply your foundation over top, you kind of lose that effect. You know what I mean? So I feel like this might be better for those of you who don't want to wear makeup and who just want to have a smooth looking skin. It is nice to the touch. It's nice to apply. It's not peeling. It's not interacting weird with the foundation. It's just at the end of the day, when you apply product over it, I'm not sure how efficient it actually is, but I still like it and I do use it. Now, my oldest primer, this is kind of tricky because it's very difficult for me to remember exactly when I purchased what. Some things sometimes are easier because I do remember vividly for whatever reason, but in this case, I really cannot be 100% sure of which one it was, but I would say it's between one of these two, so the NYX Angel Veil or the NYX Away We Glow. This is technically a strobing cream, so it is very, very luminous. I don't remember the last time I wore this, to be honest with you. I don't know that I would put it all over my face, maybe just as a highlight on the high points of my face. I don't really know. I should definitely put it to the test again. It is beautiful. It has a very nice glowy effect, but as an overall primer, I'm not sure. And then the Angel Veil, this is a skin perfecting primer. I actually used it recently in a drugstore video. And like I said, this is truly my favorite drugstore, well, affordable primer. Pretty much like the Marc Jacobs, actually. It really smooths the skin, but I feel like this one, you see more of a difference under the foundation, which is crazy because it's probably like 5 times less the price. Now, my newest primer is the All Control Priming Mist from Beauty Bay. I think I've only used it once. I don't have any strong feelings for or against this product because, like I said, I only used it once and I don't think it did anything particular. I don't feel that it actually reduced the shine, and I also don't feel like it dried out my skin too much, but like I said, it's very difficult to say upon one use. The thing that I don't like so much about it is the fact that it's a spray. I like to have a primer that I can really work in my skin, whereas this feels too wet. So I'm gonna try this again, but it's not my favorite way of applying a primer. My most expensive, this should come as no surprise if you watched my video where I was using all of my most expensive products. This is the L'Or from Glam. This is 70 euros on Sephora, the French Sephora. I believe it's more expensive in the US. This is magic. This is so pretty. When I used it again that day, I was remember like how much I love it. Unfortunately, I have very, very little left in here, and because it's so expensive and because I have such a large collection of primers, I don't think that I would ever repurchase this. And so I want to save it as much as I can. So I avoid using it. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the least expensive, the most affordable primer I have, and it is the Glam Birthday Skin Primer. So you can get this on the Shein website, app, whatever. This is $5.99, keeping in mind that, you know, these websites, you always have like 10% off if you spend this much, or 20% off if you spend that much. So, I mean, you probably can even snatch this for cheaper than that. The texture reminds me a little bit of the Tarte Silk Primer, but it's more greasy. I cannot say I really love it. I've used it a couple of times. I don't think I'm actually seeing much of a difference. And I feel like for my skin type, it's too balmy, you know what I mean? It's a bit too emollient for my tastes. So not a huge fan of this one, but that might be because of my particular skin type. The next category is dedicated to a primer I have actually repurchased, and this is the Professional from Benefit. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie. I know that for a while there, it was all the rage. This is the first, I believe, yeah, I think it's the first primer I got at Sephora a while ago when I re-explored my love for makeup. It wasn't this one though. I threw that other one away, which is why it's not my oldest. And I feel like recently when I hear about this, I hear a lot of people say, I actually don't understand why this was ever a thing. A lot of people are saying that they actually never really liked it. I like it. I do like it. It is a pore filling primer, so it has a bit of a silicone texture. There actually is silicone in here, I believe, which I know it's not the best, but honestly, it does the job. I feel like depending on your skin type and depending on how you apply it and what foundation you apply afterwards, it might peel on you. So just be careful if you're using it. Really press it into the skin and smooth it out, and just don't use too much. I think it's a nice primer. I do like it. I have repurchased this. Like I said, I had another one, an older one that was a small size that I threw out, and I think I had an extra one again from this in a very mini size that I got as a gift that again I emptied out. So I mean, I think it's a solid primer. I mean, there's definitely better primers out there, especially, you know, that have launched within the last few years, but this is still a good one. Next up, I'm going to talk about a primer that even if I want to, I couldn't repurchase. And you can't purchase either. Sorry, this is the First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh by Becca. I got this recently on Sephora during the sale. Becca is closing up. They're not gonna release any makeup anymore. They're not gonna produce any of their old makeup either. Like, that's it, they're done. So I got this because I had heard a lot about this primer and I knew that it was my last chance to get it. Everything at Sephora from Becca was heavily discounted. Like I said, unfortunately, unless there's a few here and there in your Sephora that's, you know, still hasn't been sold, I believe that this already by now you cannot really purchase anymore. There probably are other primers that I have that have been discontinued, but the reason why I'm mentioning this one is because this one will never be produced again, whereas a primer that has been discontinued by a brand might as well reappear. This is gone forever. Moving on to my next category, which is the primer that is actually technically not a primer, and this is the Monistat Complete Care Chafing Relief Powder Gel. Now, this you're not technically supposed to put on your face. I'm pretty sure I heard about this from Tati Westbrook again, and when I went to the US, I did get it. She does mention, and I will mention it to you again, like I said, you're not technically supposed to put this on your face. This can't be good for your skin and your pores, but this is the most smoothing, blurring primer that there is. I swear there's nothing like it. So if you ever have a very special event or a photo shoot or whatever that may be, and you want to be as flawless as possible, this make you look like you have no pores. It's wonderful. I rarely ever use it because I don't really ever have any special occasion to wear this, but yeah, it's definitely a weird one, but it works. Next up, I'm going to talk to you about what I think is a hidden gem, and this is the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. That's a long name. This is a fantastic primer that I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about. You will find this in the skincare aisle at Sephora, which is maybe why people don't necessarily think of this. But this is so special. I'm going to show you. It comes out as weird mousse. It softens the skin. It's beautiful. It's super fresh. So it's very nice to put on the skin before your makeup, especially in the morning. The smell is not my favorite. It smells like, you know, the repellent for mosquitoes? What is that? I don't know, but it smells weird. It is beautiful though. It's beautiful because it smooths out the skin and it leaves it feel very soft and smooth, but without having the heaviness of a pore filling primer. You know what I mean? But it kind of gives the same effect. So I feel like a lot more people should talk about this. And last but not least, the last category is dedicated to my Unmatched Primer, the one that really is the only one able to do that, and that comes back and back again. That is probably one of my most used, and that whatever other primer I use, I can use it as well. And it is my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This stuff is magical. I realize I don't think I've actually used it a lot recently because I tried to switch it up all the time for my videos, but this is just great. This is, like I said, the kind of primer that I will use in addition to another primer, whatever that may be. And this is pore filling like you wouldn't believe. This actually really feels like it penetrates your skin and it makes it super smooth. The trick with this is to use a very, very, very little amount and to press it, really press it and work it in the skin. I've used it a ton and you can see like there's still a bunch of there left. This is really a primer that I feel like no one else does it that way. Within all the range of pore filling primers, this is the most filling one, if you know what I mean. So this is definitely a product that I had to mention in my primer video. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to click the thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel because it's free, so why wouldn't you? And I will see you guys next time. Bye.